Welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna have a different schedule perhaps these coming weeks. I have my schedule is gonna look a bit different because of vacation, and yeah, during the day I'm busy, and then now during the evening I might get on, depending on we'll see. But just a couple of hours on in the evening. Well, evening for me at least. And then that's gonna be like that for 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks I will sort of change it. So then I will be able to stream as normally as I've done before. And I don't really have, a schedule or anything, but I try to get on when I can, when there's not much else to do. Okay, but let's see. So we are developing a Metroidvania 2D side scroller basically, and also tools to make the game. And so I believe last time that was like before the weekend here, so I forgot a little bit. What did we do? We did add some stuff in the game. I think we did some dialogue stuff actually, if I remember correctly. I haven't pushed anything. Oh yeah, that was right. We did a save file. How can I forget? So we did the whole save file stuff. So now, yeah, that's right. So we have the save stuff. Oh yeah, that probably shouldn't push that, I guess. Save. Wait, did that? No. Okay, so that's not saved now. Oh yeah, we also did. I don't know if I did that same stream. I added the pickup stuff for like items and the inventory, and added a little thing on the UI for that, so that you can see how many gems you have. Played around with iterators again. Let's see, but now we have the save stuff. So I actually went ahead and I actually talked to the guy who made this. So I'm using this library here, and or the person, I'm not sure, but the person who made this library was on stream last time and showed me a little bit how to do it, and we ended up having to do a whole bunch of custom stuff because some of the things were not implemented, like unions for matching unions and structs, and a little bit like that. So I had to do that, and I actually went ahead and made a PR in that repo. So we'll see what happens there, but for now this works locally here. Well, I guess I could use my local like Seaboard version and just see if I can use that. But anyway, this works. So basically, we're saving in a format called Seaboard, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's CBOR, which is like what is it? C was like not consistent, but I think it was like short short form, like a very packed format, binary something. So it's like a binary format sort of. It does work well with JSON, so it can be just translated to JSON straight up. And yeah, there's some nice tools to actually look at the data itself. So if we open up a terminal here, and we'll see. I have to do stuff here. Okay, but here's a tool that I downloaded basically to check this CBOR file. So at the top here we got the version of the save, and then we have sort of the easy to store stuff that doesn't require allocation. And I guess in the CBOR layer they are called like scalars, so they are not like allocated. And then over here we have stuff that possibly needs allocation. I put everything like in groups here. So here's like I think the quests. Yeah, these are the quests here. And then here is like dialogue state and some more dialogue state. So you can like easily go and inspect the binary file, and the file is let's see how large it is. Oops, let's just show that. So that's 272 bytes, and if you look at, you know, if we store this in text format, it would be like I don't know. Okay, not that much more, but but anyway, it does save stuff, and it's like faster to read and faster to write as well. So it's you know, it's gonna be a larger win for, but a lot of stuff is actually like, if you would look at this file, let's say we open up save file, let's save. And you can see there's a lot of stuff here that is actually strings, because we have stuff like enums. Enums are actually stored as strings. If you have an enum, it's stored as the string sort of tag name value. It's not stored as the numbered value, it's stored as the tag name value of the thing. Which is, I mean, it's nice because in one way it's like, well, it's nice in one way and bad in another way. It's nice because you can see what it is easily. It's bad because it takes up more space, but it's really not a problem right now. And if it really becomes a problem, then it's easily solvable, you know, by just changing it from strings to numbers. And also, if the format somehow changes, if you add an enum or change the enum's values or something, you can just bump the version and keep track of it that way. So it's really no issue. Well, potentially, if you're dealing with it correctly, that is. But anyway, so yeah. So we have this save file. Here's the data. Here's the structure for our like save file in Zig. So we have the version. We have primitives, I call it, which is like the stuff that doesn't need allocation. So that can, because that can just be saved straight off. You don't need to do some weird conversions or anything for that. So we can just save that as is. And then we have the quest states, which does need allocation because we don't know how many it is and stuff like that. And there might be maybe strings in there, I don't know. And then we have dialogues, which is the same idea here though. So so quest and dialogue are stored as stuff that needs like allocation and stuff. All right, and yeah, we have the endian here because, wait, are we even using this anymore? I don't think we are, so we can remove that. we had that before because I tried to first save using my own sort of binary format, but then this person came on stream and was like, yeah, what format are you using? I'm not using any format, I'm using just my own like binary format. And then it's like, oh, okay, but you can use like Seaborn, or what was the other one? There was one other format as well that I forgot now, but I had heard of the other one, and I actually hadn't heard of Seaborn, but I had heard of the other one. However, I tried this and it works really well. So, you know, it's just to have a standardized format so that you can use other tools to actually debug and stuff if you want to. If you had your own format, then it would be a little bit harder to do. Not impossible, but yeah, it's nice that there's like a library and you can do stuff like this as well. So yeah, so you get a bunch of stuff for free. Basically, this write value stuff, you can write anything basically that is, yeah, basically anything actually. You can write anything with write value. However, if you want some special case here for my maps, for example, that has enums as keys and other stuff as values, then I have my own. You can write your own function. So I have my own function, and then you can use some other functions here that are sort of that you can sort of compose your own format here. So I want to write a map-like structure here. So first you can write map header, which will write basically the length of the map, like how many items are in the map, and it will also store like a special type so that Seaborn knows what type it is. What, like, okay, it knows this is a map. And then we just go through each thing in the list in the hash map. It's an array hash map, so you can loop through it. And we just write the key like in pairs. So we write keys and the values. So each entry will be a pair of key and value. And that's it. And then when you read it, let's see. Yeah, when we read it, we use this match pattern here instead. So basically, you can say, I want to match value, so match any kind of value actually. And then you can use extract to get a pointer, or you put in a pointer to what you want to like save whatever is read, the value that is read into this pointer. So from the type here, we will also know like, okay, what type of thing do you want to actually read here. So basically this is how you read a value. A simple value could just be read like this. Then I have this special match struct, which is because the the version of Seaborn that I have, or that is on master right now, it does not support just matching structs straight off. So I had to write my own thing for that, but yeah, it's basically the same as reading a map. So first we read in the map. Well, my PR actually sort of does this. So if that gets merged in, then if you want to use the Seaborn, then you don't have to write your own thing for structs. But I have to do this. I have to go through each field. I have to read, decode the map header. So that basically just consumes the map header, and then you get the length, like how many fields do you want to read, or how, yeah, for this in the struct. And then we go through each field and we read the key and we read the value, and we have to match up like comp time with our, because we want to be able to pass in this at field thing, so we have to know comp time, which field we're talking about, and then we have to do some matching on the field name and keys and stuff. But yeah, it works. So I'm now able to store and load files using Seaborn. And yeah, I have like most of the stuff here will support or the functionality that I've done here will basically support almost like any sort of data that we want to store here. So yeah, so that's how that works. And right now we just, when we load the game, I just hard coded in some sort of temp file name here, or temp save file. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna put this in like a comment here. So this would be like save file temp start. So this is just some temporary code to actually test this functionality. So basically when we load the game, because we don't have like a main menu or anything, when we load the game, it's actually automatically just loading the save file. And the save file, we only have one save file, it's save file.save. So that's just how it works right now, to just get the system up and working. And then later on we'll add stuff like, I guess autosaves and I don't know what we should have, but basically just so you can be able to save your game, and you're gonna be able to, maybe it makes more sense to add, it's more the type of game where you have a profile, and or maybe not profile is the wrong term maybe, but more like a save file that is basically I guess you would only have one save file, but we could add like backups if you want, something like that. Probably won't have autosaves actually. We'll probably just save when the players like actually save the game in the game. So so anyway, yeah. So but right now we're just loading. We're creating this temp save file file name, and we're putting it in here, and then we're basically this is just happening at the startup, and we're calling these temp load save file functions. So first we load in like these things, dialogues and quest states, because they are sort of initialized at the start. And so we use our save system here to load our save, and so we get our information out here, and then we also temporarily save our save file here, and then we basically go through our different states. So here we have starting dialogue states, where we ensure our total capacity to however much we have in our save, and we just go through each value and we put assumed capacity here with the value that we have. So that's basically it, and we do that for each of these maps that we have, which is dialogue container starting dialogues, dialogue container option states, and quest container states. All right, and then we also, if you look at here, we also so then we load in basically everything. So now our every entity and everything is in place, and then we load our second thing, which is gonna be stuff that is particular to our player. And so we load in the player state, or the player component, and health component for the player, and we set the stuff that we need to set for those. So this is probably gonna change in the future, but this is just a rudimentary first draft of this stuff, just to get the loading stuff working. And yeah, I'm probably gonna disable the saving. Actually, what we could do is we can have a maybe debug config enable temp auto save load. So where is our debug config actually? L debug, okay. So we'll go back here and I will say if L debug config enable temp autosave load. Then we do that. Yeah. There we go. And also when we exit, this save function is getting called. So where is that happening? Oh, it's just happening here. So I guess we could have an if here as well, like if debug config temp. Okay, I guess defer. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so now we can toggle that on off if we want. And that's pretty cool. This is like comp time known. So, I mean, I guess this is true for a lot of program languages that has basic like optimization, but I think it's just pretty cool that this will actually just be optimized away. It will be actually, since it's comp time, it won't we know that this is comp time, so that this if will basically produce this code if it's true. It will not produce this code if it's false. So basically this if is not here in the end result if this is true, and then this whole thing is not here if it's false. I just think that's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, I guess we can do this. We have a bug, so if we start our game here, it's my controller here. See if it starts now. All right, and okay, now I forgot what I was gonna do. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go over here, and oh yeah, I need to remove this monster. Yeah, you can see it. Actually, everything that gets sort of spawned, you can see it when I hit something, the particles basically fly up in the air, or this animation here flies up in the air for some reason. And let's see. So, oh, we got a leak as well. Interesting. Oh, this is in the match stuff. Okay, so this is in the save here. Right, so the keys. So this duplication is not right, because we do have the duplication when we in our NPC keys. Oh yeah, I think we ended sort of on this last time. So okay, well this I'm not gonna worry about this actually, because the problem is basically when we read in our save file for the maps, and the key is something that needs allocation, which is for strings here, which we have for the NPC key in I believe it's starting dialogues map, which goes from NPC key. It maps NPC keys to a dialogue key, a dialogue option key, and the NPC key is actually just a string. But I am gonna change that into an enum instead, which I have for the other map. So this problem is gonna disappear. However, it's not gonna disappear for But the issue that itself is like, since NPC keys before had been like statically known, they've been like comp time known basically, so we're not freeing them because they are read-only memory, so that will be an error to free them. But now they are actually not a read-only memory here, so we have to like distinguish between if we actually read in a save file or not. But I'm not gonna do that to just fix this leak, since we're gonna change those strings to enums anyway, which we could do. I guess we could do that right now actually. Yeah, let's just do that right now, because the longer I wait with it, let's just do it and we'll see if it's actually even possible. But I think, yeah, for NPC keys, I'm just gonna define a bunch of NPCs. So basically we have two NPCs right now. Well, this is an enum, and it's elder and what to call. So that's our two NPCs. And so, yeah, actually, yeah, we do need to update a few spaces. So basically, when we read in a scene, we map the name of the entity type with an NPC key. So we have to now map that a little bit differently. I mean, we're probably gonna be seeing just a bunch of... Okay, here for example. Yeah, so basically these, we go to this type. This is... Well, actually, this is the same. Oh yeah, so this is a string array hash map. We have to make this into all array hash map here. Hello, Daniel Beckman. I wish I knew Zig. Looks pretty cool. Welcome. Yeah, it is. I like it a lot. What do you program in? Okay, so now we made this from a string hash map into this other, which can take enums. So I'm just gonna say NPC key there. Okay, so let's see what else we need to deal with here. And oh wait, actually now this is also an enum. Before it was, well, the type is NPC key. Now we don't need to duplicate this anymore. So we can basically just delete this entire thing, because the whole point of this was to make a duplication, so we have like control of that. But now we can just remove that. Python, okay, cool. But you don't know what you're doing? It's mostly scripts for automations. Ah, okay. Yeah. I mean, programming is fun. For those that think so. Anyways. What are you doing for work? Or what kind of work is that? Let's see. Okay, so that should be fine. Now we have, yeah, so now we just do .elder here instead. Nice. And same thing here. Oh yeah, I probably want to just delete this quest here. It was just an implementation to, oh yeah, you need to wait. It was just to test the functionality here. I guess we can keep it for now. So it's like, how interesting is it for accepting a quest where you have to wait? And then, I mean, I guess there are examples of that, but I don't know. Expected type, NPC key found. Yeah. So this, yeah. So this will actually be a bit different. So is NPC key. What we could do here is actually return the thing. Do we need it to be comp time? No, I don't think so. And also this ID is wrong now because this needs an NPC key, so I'm not sure why I had made it into a audiobook industry. Okay, cool. IT. Nice. Actually, I can't remember last time I actually read a book or listened to a book, to be honest. But I do read a lot of articles on programming. Okay, where is this? Oh yeah, it's here. Hello, Lisa Jean. How are you today? Thank you. Welcome. I'm good. How are you? Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Is the question. So we're doing this, but this doesn't work. Actually, this could just be... Wait, couldn't we just use... This could just be a union, you know? Right? Or, no, wait, this is a value, that's right. Oh yeah, wait, this is actually... Okay, now we can use enums dot enum field struct, I think. Wait. Do you play just this game or in other games as well? Oh, I think this... I think we have encountered some type of animatron. Let's see. Usually it's like a red flag when someone has a normal name and then 4 digits in the name. That's a red flag of a possible bot. I don't know why it's a pattern. Apparently. Okay. But if you're a real person, then I'm gonna answer. Cool. Okay. Then I'm gonna say I'm making this game, so I do play this and other games. Except on this stream, I only play this game because I'm trying to develop it. So. Actually, let's get this on here. I have my little Twitch chat window here. What games do you play? I play a lot of different games. Right now I'm mostly playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds, and yeah, I guess that's it right now. I just play when I need to stimulate my brain a bit if I'm bored and I need to rest or something. Okay, but anyway, so this enum field struct, the way it works is you give it an enum which is the NPC key, and then you give it a data thing, which is going to be NPC init, and then also if you have a default field or a default value, which we don't, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, and basically what this does is creates a type that is a struct with the enum sort of tags here as keys or field names. So you get a field called elder and you get a field called Kottefolket. And then the type of that field is going to be this type here. So this is so basically it turns an enum into a struct, you could say. And the good thing about that is if I wanted to add a new NPC, I can go here and say new NPC, and now I'm gonna get a complaint from our compiler. Well, I should get a complaint anyway. I think I'm gonna get it once I fix this error or something. But anyway, it's gonna complain here that you need to add this type here. So or this field. Do you stream daily or was good with your scheduled? I don't stream daily, but I'm trying to stream as much as I can. I have like a day job or day job. I don't know what day job actually means. I've just heard others say it, but I have a job and I have a family as well, so I don't have a lot of time actually working on this. So I'm trying to stream whenever I can and work on the game when I can. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Where's this thing here? Oh yeah, it's this one. So now this is actually an enum instead, which is kind of moot point here. It's already, we know that it's an NPC key, so we don't have to actually check if it's an NPC key because it's already an NPC key. Wait. Oh no, I'm stupid. We're actually putting a name here. So what we could do, instead of checking if it's NPC key, we could say NPC key is equal to string. Wait, is it meta? Yeah, string to enum. And if it's not a thing, then I guess we can return. So this will basically do the same thing, but we actually get the NPC key out as well. So now we can just pass that in here and we're done. Keep up grind, thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining. I'm still not convinced that was... I'm just wary about bots now because I've been getting like weird messages on Twitch about someone's uncle that can help the stream and stuff from different people, and then I like, oh wait, this feels like a bot thing. So I actually looked that up. It appears to be like a very common thing, and that's interesting. So yeah, have a good one. Okay, now I can actually show where's an artist. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, if I need it, I'll reach out to you. Okay. Thanks. It's just some, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Expected type, let's see, found, okay. Well, it's the same as my handle here, so. And I think I have a link as well, so. All right, so let's see. Expected type. Oh yeah, so this is just this. We can remove this now. We change this system a little bit here. Yeah, and we also get like completions and stuff now as well. All right, so this one, let's see. So we're looking through. So before, when this was a string, we had to look through this NPC type, which is this, which define these keys. So you would get a type with these fields, Elder and Kottefolket, and we would look through these fields and we will check the match the name with the ID. However, now the ID is just an enum into that wait, how? Let's see. So if you have field enum, I think you still have to match with the name here, possibly. Or you could maybe match with what if you do field enum and then the fields on that? No, I don't know. It's like if you have a value of a enum that goes into a union enum or tagged union, how could you like access this? I think couldn't you do something like this? You have switch on ID, right? And then you say no. Or could you do switch on fields and then say this? Is that a thing? So if you match with the ID, we get in here. And then you get the field. Is this possible? And then we do this. If we even need to do that, I don't know. Alright, thanks. I'll check it out. Because what I'm trying to think is like, if we have this enum field struct, is there an easy way to just access? If you have an enum that is like .elder, is there an easy way to just access that from this type, or I wonder why they append with 1 with 0 with a thing like this, or a 0 length string here. Well, anyway, let's just try and see if this works, and then we can remove this. Comp time. Also, this needs to be comp time. Okay. So let's just do this then. ID, and then this is gonna be inline else, and we're gonna get. Oops. I believe we get the tag here. So this is now a comp time tag, which we can here we can use the tag name of t instead. So that will also match the field name. And you might need to let's call this tags. Oops. You might need to put this into comp time as well. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so you have key. Well, I guess we could just say tag name. Alright, no more errors. And also the good thing is the save file actually doesn't need to be updated because it's stored as a string anyway. So, and the enums are stored as strings, their tag names. So it should just work. Famous last words. Okay. I mean, it looks like it works, so we got this guy here. Yeah, so it does work. Let's just check the other. Yeah, so cool. Okay, so we changed the NPCs from NPC key from string to enum. That was actually way more painless than I thought it would be. But we do still have a leak here, or a couple of leaks. Ensure total capacity. Okay, is this also save 135? Alright. Alright, let's see. Oops. Right, so there's a leak here. So this map is, it's not initialized. Right, so let's see. So we get a pointer here. Right. So it's this one. Oh, are we just not initializing the save itself? Okay. Well, that's not really a big deal. We can just go to the initialize. Oops. And let's do it somewhere. I don't know. Maybe here. If so oops, quest init. Wait. Oh, so it doesn't. Okay, it's just that the LSP doesn't understand the comp time stuff here, or this like type alias thing here, I think. All right. Okay, let's just see if we get the error again. Oh, I need this. This needs to be mutable apparently. Let's see now, and I guess we'll just quit. And see, leaks. Yeah, we still get leaks. Okay. Still the same thing, or oh, it's just one leak now. Ensure total capacity, game init. Here. Dialog container, starting state. Oh yeah, this is a new thing. I never actually initialized that, maybe. Yeah, wait. Oh yeah, we need to add it here. Oops. There we go. There we go. Now we don't have leaks. Okay, cool. All right. So we fixed. Yeah. What did we do actually? Oh yeah, we replaced the NPC keys with enums now instead, and that's in turn solved a memory leak that we had. But now let's do the thing that I said at the start here. So let's do this one. When you hit a monster, we spawn an animation, which is a separate like entity that shows hit particles. Basically, it just animates the particles, and it after a recent update, it actually flies up in the air. And so let's do a test here and see. I do have negative gravity somewhere. Physics, input components, probably here. Yeah, if you have no gravity and rigid body, then we do this. Let's check. And the reason, okay, so what's happening here is we're using an ECS system, and we're looking for entities that has no gravity component and sort of like a physics body component. And if they have both, then each frame will just negate the gravity that's going to be applied in the physics step. So that's what we're doing here. However, somehow it feels like the hit particles are actually not. Oh yeah, and then we have to wait. We have to look at the spawn thing here. Alright, so here's where we actually create the thing. We have a bunch of components that gets added, animation, texture. We're starting the animation here. We add a death component with a timer here. We get, oh yeah, we get the original body so we can see where we're gonna spawn the thing. And then we add our own physics body here, and we do have it static, which may be the reason why gravity is not applied. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set static to false first. So this is a bit quirky because my physics system is not super perfect here. I'm gonna say particle body here. Also, you wouldn't, you know, it's not really, I'm saying particle here, but it's like, it's just a separate entity that plays another animation, which is called particle, like hit particles. But I'm gonna say static after this, because I think what's happening is the physics system sees that this is static, so it actually adds it into a separate list, I believe. I'm not 100% sure exactly because I don't remember exactly. Here we're set. Oh yeah, we're setting because we're using like a key system here. Yeah, so here you can see. So this thing is determining if gravity is going to be applied or not, and we're looking at is static at this point. However, if we're changing static later, we're actually not going to modify this array here. So so I think that's what's happening. So we set static to false first, and then we update static to true. So static it means it basically doesn't collide with stuff, basically, almost. And then we want to apply no gravity to it as well, I believe. I think. Or why did it go up anyway? Actually, why did it go up? Oh, because it was killed. Okay. Another thing here, we don't actually add the no gravity component here, but the only place, so if we look at this death component, and we have like on death component added, so this is like a hook that is called whenever death component is added, which is the one of a kind we have in this game actually. And what this does is some generic stuff that's gonna be applied to everything that gets a death component added. And here we're actually adding no gravity. So yeah, I think that was causing the whole thing. So let's check if it fixed the issue now. Oops. I'm just using this weird ability to make it go faster. Come on. There we go. Okay, now we can see already that the particles do not fly up in the air. I mean, maybe it's hard to see, but you can see here that when I hit the thing, there's a bunch of stuff spawning, which now only plays like it's sort of animation, and it stays at the same place. Before it actually went up in the air. Alright. Cool. Okay, I'm just gonna double check. Okay. My gem count is going up. Okay. Alright, so that was that. And I also realized we don't actually have to set static to true here actually, because it's gonna be set to true anyway. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. I should probably change the system a little bit, because it was kind of hard to track down what the actual problem was here. Also, the thing with adding, like changing this static value is kind of weird as well. Like, you would want it to change this dynamic array if you change it to true. So, yeah. But anyway, what now actually? even... let's see. Yeah, so we did the whole save stuff. Where's that? I didn't actually, I don't think I wrote it down. Yeah, here, actually, yeah, we do have, well, we don't have like UI for it, but we do have like the functionality for it, so I'm just gonna cross this off. And yeah. So we do have like the beginnings of having a save system and stuff, so that's really nice. I'm just thinking like what, like programming wise, I could do. Yeah, camera stuff feels way too involved. Maybe I'll just create the levels more. Okay, let's do that. All right. So here's the editor, and it's also made in Zig and yeah, raylib/imgui. And so let's see. Actually, do I want these here? Well, I'm gonna balance this later, I guess. It's not gonna be. So I do want to remove this one. Okay. And yeah, there's a whole bunch. You can see here there's a lot of like unfinished things. I think I'm just basically gonna implement this sort of detail first, maybe, and then what was that? This room is just basically, I have no idea what to do with this room yet. I've not even, it's just gonna be like a transition from this part to over here. Except, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I am gonna try and add like shortcuts and stuff. Also, oh yeah, I haven't made the graphics actually for this part. It's gonna be more like a tree type interior graphics here. So I guess we can't really do that part. I guess I'm trying to figure out what to do with this. Wait, why is this so weird over here? They should match the size. All right. Okay, anyway, so I mean, I guess we could have like a bunch of oh, what's this? Okay, this is a bug. Huh, interesting. Well, let's open up from here, I guess. It's gonna be this part. So now we're in the tilemap editor, and we can. It's gonna be some sort of rocky area, maybe. And so you can just do this. And I don't know. I don't really know what to do with this. Whoops. I guess we could do these ones, maybe. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I'm thinking just adding a bunch of platforms here or something. Actually, this looks kind of weird. Like, how did I... It's supposed to be a little bit jaggedy and stuff, but it just looked like it was way too squarey stuff. Oh yeah, could do stuff like this as well. That I should actually write that down. So it's like when you have, I can like select multiple tiles like this, and then basically what that means is it's gonna choose, when I paint, it's gonna choose randomly between the two. But then if I want to change it later, so let's say, so now it's doing it randomly, but if I want to change, I can hold down control and click, and you can see the tile is set to black here. However, when I try to paint now, it's still gonna choose this because they take precedence. So I think I wanna have it so I'm gonna make it so that when I do that, it's gonna override those. We could do that, but yeah, not right now. I guess I can write it down at least. Okay, so we have a bunch of these sort of weird platforms here, so let's just add do we want? We want these guys. Sort of reminds me of like Super Mario mushrooms. Let's see, we might even need it to be more down. Oops. Actually, we could use these ones. Actually, let's do this instead. Okay. And then this maybe. All right. So we have like different layers, so we could add a layer. So this, so we need a layer called characters. Oh no, oh my god. Okay, well this is a reason to implement some sort of backup system. Well, that's fine, I guess. We didn't really do that much. Wait, why did it crash though? Okay, so before I do that, let's add this to the time map editor. I guess that's one of the downsides to building your own editor. It's gonna bug out a lot. Let's see. Yeah, brush tool. We're setting time with control click on time map, reset or clear random select. Alright. Why did it crash? Where's the crash? Here. Alright, callback. Segfault. Great. Yeah. Layers menu here. I mean, yeah, of course it's gonna be at the actual input, but layer name buffer. Okay, I have to check, like when we create a new layer, what do we actually do? So we should have like add layer somewhere. Here. Add layer. We're initializing it. So we're creating a pointer, we're populating a pointer here, we're appending it into the list. We have our name, which is initialized with allocator and name. We are setting our buffer to be alloc with sentinel. Fine. A default capacity, which is 256. Okay. So basically, we have an underlying buffer. We allocate it once throughout the whole lifetime of this object. or whatever, and we don't like reallocate a string each time. Basically, that's how it's set up anyway. And so next time you want to set it, we just write it into the buffer, and we have our capacity limit of 256, which should be way more than enough to for a layer name. Basically anything else in here. So then we have this set thing. I mean, that seemed to work. We did get a layer. So let's just try this again. So let's say I'm gonna go over here and add a new layer. So we do get this layer here, but as soon as I wanna change it, it crashes. Same issue here. Segfault address 12 or 1 hex, which would be 18 or 17. No, it should be 18, right? Yeah. Well, 1, 2 hex anyway. So which would okay. So this shouldn't really matter. We're just setting the thing. It seemed to work. What's happening later? Oh. Over here. Now, so we're putting this buffer here. Enter turns to callback. Oh yeah, so we are calling this callback, that's right. So it's trying to call the callback, and that's where it sort of fails, I guess. So maybe something is wrong with this part. Because user data is then passed to the callback. I don't know. Because it doesn't seem to go in here. Or maybe it actually does get in here. I'm not sure. I do change the callback context recently, so I'm not sure if that's the issue here. Oh, hello Nero site. Did you see my PR? Let's see. But it is the thing that we do, so. It's a pointer. Yeah, it's a pointer. And this needs to be a pointer, yeah. And why do we need it to be a callback? Because it's because of like the undo redo stuff. We want to see when it changes. So we have a callback. When the callback is changed, we do this start generic action. But otherwise, we don't really need to have it as a thing. Oh, it looks great. Nice. Yeah, no problem. I'm just teasing. Hello, Two Step. How's it going? Okay, I'm gonna check, like, do we get in here? Zig Showtime. Oh, did they showcase some stuff or from like Zig, or let's see. Yeah, there was like a showed off some new async. Oh, cool. Let's see, here. So we add one new, and then we go in here, and then we edit, and it crashes. And we're gonna check if we're in here. Yes, we are in here. Okay, so we actually get here. I'm guessing it's this that, or maybe something else here that fails. But I don't know why. And yeah, I have like I can go to like debug mode in. I haven't set it up properly in NeoVim, so I have to like switch to VS Code on Windows to do that. But okay, here. So that's why I do this. Okay, so we're not getting there. Okay, so is it so? Okay, so it might be. I'm just gonna do this. I don't really know. I don't know how to fix this. If it's where we find this issue. Yeah, they talked a little about the async generators, which might make help with generic iterators. Ah. Okay. Cool. Oh, we don't even get there. Okay, so this is where it fails. Right. What are you working on today? So I was gonna I fixed the last thing on the save files last time, and now I was going to like add new stuff, like a new area, or I mean, yeah, just detail it a little bit. So I started editing my tile map, and then I wanted to add a layer, and then it crashed because there's a bug here. Yeah, it's I'm making like an editor to make the game as well, and I have a tile map editor, and I'm using imgui or imgui, and imgui is like calling this callback when the input change, or yeah, when the input is changing. And then you can so here's the imgui function. It's a SIG binding, and yeah, it's a UI library basically, and you can create inputs, and so here's a text input, and so then you call you can supply a callback. You don't have to, but you can supply a callback that gets called, and then you can also supply some data that's gonna be called with it. But this is interfacing with C. This is like calling a C function that is then calling this function back, and the data that we pass in is this here, which I've created here. Basically just two pointers in a struct, and then the callback is called with like user data set to whatever you set it to be. When I'm trying to cast it back, it fails here. This did work before when I was just using one pointer. So if I go back, let's say, wait, why did I need the other thing though? Oh yeah, here. This gets me the active layer. And then... Alright. Thank you for joining. See ya. Let's see. So I'm getting my layer out from that. I don't think I actually need the other thing. Let's just remove it. So I'm not sure if that's the thing, like if there's an issue with the data being passed into C and then back, and I don't know. Or if I need the function to be laid out in a different way or something. Because this function is getting called from C, basically. Then again, it is using an img binding library thing, so yeah, I don't know. Okay, but now this should be, no wait, let's do this. Let's just say timeout document. Oh no, but here's the okay. And I was you destroying that pointer. What happens if you move that to the callback? Oh, wait. No. Wait, which one? Oh, this one. Oh man. Okay, yeah, that's I think that's the issue. Yeah, thank you. So this is a usual this is actually a usual thing that happens in this pattern, because you're passing in something to, because in this context, I'm not where this code, it gets executed in a sort of execute. So there's a couple of steps to this. First, you generate basically a tree of these img UI commands. Calling this function won't actually render it directly and do the logic directly. It will just place a command into a list which says, yeah, you have to render a text here, and here's the metadata or whatever for that. And then another step, which is outside of this whole function, you actually get the rendering, and then perhaps outside of that you also get like logic. So if we destroy the thing here, it's not actually going to exist when it needs to. So yeah. And I've done this mistake a couple of times already, so oh yeah, so we can't, but I don't know why I did. I mean, I do it like this because this needs a pointer, so I have to actually store this in the context. I have to store it somewhere where it can like persist. Okay, but right. It's just annoying that I have to deal with this callback. Maybe I can just remove the callback. I mean, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try and just avoid using the callback. Oh, but enter returns true. So this is where it ends the action. But I'm not gonna worry about that, because I'm just gonna remove these actions, because my undo redo system doesn't really, I mean, it works sort of, but I haven't like optimized it. I haven't fully implemented it, so I'm just gonna not do it at all. And whatever else are we doing here, we're just starting the action, and that's the only thing we're doing. So I'm just not gonna do this part. And we don't have flags at all. Alright. There we go. Oops. Data. Oh yeah, this is the layer. Wait. Oh yeah, so now I have to do this in a different way. Let me just... No, I don't have to do anything actually, because it's just setting the thing directly here. Yeah, so that's it. So this is gonna this is the imgui is actually changing that buffer directly. There we go. Now it works. I know imgui is immediate mode, but I don't really know how those lifetimes work, like if the callback happens later on. Yeah. So it's like first you call like a layout function, or like where you basically describe how the UI should look. So you say here's like, so when we call this function, it's not actually rendering the input text directly. It's just adding a render command into an array, and then later imgui takes that list and just renders it. I mean, this is just how I know that it doesn't render it here. I'm just guessing that this is how it works, because it's like a pattern that I saw. And so it just renders this input text later, at a later stage, like when you call. I think it's probably when you call like imgui end or whatever is called. Wait, where is this? So we have main. Where is it? Oh yeah, I have my little wrapper here as well. But in it, and then wait, where's the thing? Oh, here we go. So run. No, this is, here we go. Oh yeah, but this is just raylib, and then we call the layout function that we pass in here, and this one is just, where is it? Here we go. So you call, well, this is actually this is like a raylib imgui what do you call it, compatibility library, also RL imgui. But you basically call imgui and begin, and then you call all your UI functions, and then end. And at the end, that's where I think it's actually rendering and doing all the logic and stuff. All right, and then in here we call, this is where we call a whole bunch of like UI, like begin main menu bar and stuff like that. So you basically describe how the whole UI should look, and then it gets rendered at the end. So I've done this multiple times, like this mistake, like allocating something and then thinking I have to deallocate it. but and then going into the and then you get a seg fault because InGui didn't actually access it then, it accessed it later. And then I had to move the state into somewhere where it lives throughout the frame, which is usually like this context or somewhere else, but yeah. Good catch. Let's see, layout, timer. Okay, let's just remove all this crap here. We can just remove this. All right. Right. So before I did all this, I was actually I was doing like. Yeah, I was trying to just make a new area, which is over here. I actually saved a little bit. So this is the tile map editor here, and what you can do is it's very rudimentary. Everything here is basically I'm just building whatever I need for the moment in order to like progress in the game development. And so yeah, I'm just gonna add, I didn't really know what to do with this area, so I just started adding some platforms which are like these ones, and that, and then I can just do this. I think I had it somewhat like this. So how this works is basically you can select like multiple, it's very rudimentary here, but you can select like multiple tiles and then it's gonna draw it like randomly. Or like each tile is going to be chosen randomly for one of these tiles. With a CTX arena that gets reset after InGui ends, solve any lifetime problem. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That thing was a very like because that specific callback needed a specific type of context. So those things together. Well, actually, I guess the only thing it really needed was the context, because the context has everything in it. So you could potentially get the current document from the context and do it. That I just wanted to add the time map document for convenience so that I could just use that directly. But I guess technically I could just send in one pointer to the context and that should be fine. Oh yeah, I also want to have these, I guess. All right. Whoops. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, so then I did these ones. Oh yeah, so I do want, so the thing that happened was, now I was at this point and I tried to add a layer and then it just crashed the whole thing because of the bug that we just solved. And I lost this progress here, so I'm gonna press save and then add. And then what we need is we need a thing. I guess we'll add another background layer just in case we need it, because there's no way to move like layers yet. And I think this is like a special layer called characters. I believe it's called characters at least. Let's see if we can find another one. Yeah, characters. So that's where the characters will render. And then we have foreground. Let's just add 2 foreground layers, I guess. Yeah. So there we go. So now we can like draw this. So I've drawn everything in the first like background layer. And if you want to move it, you could do that. And I think I want to have everything that is like on the ground in the foreground actually. So we cut that, I think. Yeah, we did. And then we paste it in the, oh man, we paste it here. No, man, I forgot how this worked. I haven't actually been here now for a while. So I want to do this. Okay. I thought I had like cut. Let's just do copy, I guess, and delete. Select this, paste. Okay, there we go. And you can also press focus so you can see sort of which layer you're working with. So now I have background there, foreground there. I can save. Alright. So makes it easier to see that you're not drawing in the wrong thing. Alright. Let's just fill this in here. And then we have these guys. Oops. And then these. Oops. All right. Okay. Yeah, very. I don't know. I'll probably change this area later, but now we can add some monsters. So let's add some of these flying things. And this guy. And maybe this. Alright. And I can press F5 to play. Okay, where's my controller? I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, okay. So, wait, how did I solve this? Actually, well, okay, this shows that the tiles that I'm placing are like automatically detected to be like solid. So basically all these black tiles are like automatically solid, but I do believe I have like another black tile somewhere which is not solid, maybe, hopefully, over here. So I have to use this one instead. And let's focus so we can see which layer we're working with. So I have to now place in that and remember which ones are actually black here. This one. Okay, I think that's it. Oops. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Well. All right, so and then you can make it up here as well. All right. Yeah, the backgrounds also, like the background is like the same for every. I only have like one background, which I just default in every place. So I have a lot of artwork to do. Let's see. Yeah, and over here is gonna be like an area that you can get into when you get to like your first upgrade, I think. But yeah. So yeah, so I'm not sure actually what to do now. Because let's see, we'll save this. Okay, now everything should be saved here. I guess we could do this. Just work on the editor maybe. But yeah. Setting a tile. Control quick. By the way, did you notice Showtime rated you? Oh. I did not. Was there supposed to be like a message coming up? Thank you for the raid. Sorry, I didn't notice. Well, I did notice that there was a bunch of people joining here. Which I usually have like 2 people. Or something. Yeah, so that's why also maybe I had an inkling that that was happening. So maybe I should like show some more programming. So let's do this. When setting tile and yeah, welcome everyone. So I wasn't sure how to think about it. So let's see, when setting tile, yeah. So this would be in this part. Yeah, so basically we have like different types of documents. This is the tile map document. And this is like the where we define like the UI stuff. Oh, that one was off. I think I have this. I have Bork as well. That is also Zig project, a Zig project, and then I integrated it in NeoVim here with a little floating window. It's basically just a terminal that runs Bork. And so it doesn't have support for like emojis and stuff, but yeah, it's something there at least. And but this instance didn't actually have it fully synchronized here, but okay, anyway, so yeah, it's very Zig. Ooh, yeah, it's a lot of Zig here. let's see. So where would that be? We have set tile. That's right, set tile. So there's a button called set tile, which is setting this to true, which then causes. So this is in the brush. You click the set tile, you get into this other window, which is this button here. You press this, you get into this window. And so let's say you have a bunch of this selected. Now it draws randomly from those tiles. But then what I want to do is when I control click and set it to something else, so I can control click to set the tile to whatever I'm hovering over, if I'm on the same layer, that is. But then when I try to paint, it's gonna keep this random selection that I did. But I want to clear that if I do a control click. Alright, so let's check where this is used. Yeah, this one. So here's the window for select tile source, which I call it. Let's go and check. No, wait, this is not right. We shouldn't be in here. We should be where we control click. That's right. So that is just out in the. It's not in layers menu. It's gonna be in handle input. And it's gonna be in handle brush. Here we go. So we're clicking the left button. No, wait, what the hell? Wait, it's control click. So it's happening in here then. Here we go. So we are checking for left control down. Also right control doesn't work. But tile, and then we get the tile from that. From the mouse position, we set our current brush tile source, as I call it here, to whatever we get from the tile map. But we should also this returns void, so this doesn't really, it's just the same as this. But we should also clear the selected stuff. So that is somewhere, it's these ones, I think, selected source tiles. It's a struct called select grid, which is basically, yeah, it's a way to select any combination of cells in a grid, basically. It's not really a perfect data structure here by any means, but it's just what I have here, and it works. So let's see. So I want to check if we have something that is just going to be like, I guess the initialize we could do, or clear, I guess. Yeah, clear. So we're just going to call clear on that, I think, and that will solve it for us. Clear. And we have the allocator on the context. There we go. And that should work, hopefully. So let's select the brush. We will select a whole bunch of stuff. We're drawing this stuff here. We're selecting this, and now this is working. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see, what else can we do? Yeah, so if we look at the game code, there were some places where we might want to use like iterators instead of arrays. So where was that? I mean, I can just search for a generic iterator. Oh yeah, the UI stuff, or yeah. So yeah, so this is the system that draws like the text boxes, I think. Yeah, so so basically we have a function called draw list. So the idea is it just draws a list of items in a box, and it draws the box around it and stuff. I can show you here in the game. So you talk to this guy, and you get this box on the right side here. This is the draw list box, and so you get a label, which is who are you here. That's the label, and well, the way we use it here in this variation of it is where we put in a iterator. So instead of putting in an array with strings, we put an iterator of strings, and so that way, if your data structure is not an array of strings, then you can, without having to allocate a new array of strings, you can use an iterator to just get the strings like that. So you don't have to. You can avoid allocation in that case. And then let's see, we are using it. Well, here I'm actually, if you're for some reason are passing in an array of strings, what we're actually calling draw list with the iterator here, with a thing here which is a slice iterator. It's just a generic slice iterator. It takes a slice, which in this case is a slice of strings, and you get an iterator which is a generic iterator, and you can pass it into this iterator function. So this data structure is basically like an allocator in the same spirit as an allocator. It has a v table, and it has, well, we started out using a pointer here, but I changed it to be not a pointer, because then we avoided having to create, like, it's a bit quirky, you know. But if let's show this example here. Where did we have this? Let's see. Well, we should look for map iterator, because that's the. So this is the more, like, I guess, interesting thing. It's like map iterator. You can take an iterator and map it with a function. So a little bit of functional programming here. So you take an iterator, a generic iterator of type t, and then you have a mapper function from t to u, and you get an iterator of type u. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. And but the problem is this part, like the data, like to where to actually keep the state of this map iterator. And before, when it was a pointer, you had to store the iterator itself in like a local copy where you want to use it. But now we can create the iterator in this function and return it like this. So for example, like let's take a parallel to the standard heap debug allocator. So this is like the GPA. The GPA, or let's actually just go to main, because here we're creating a GPA. So first you create the GPA, then you have to call allocator on GPA to get the allocator. So this is what I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid having to call the function to get the allocator. I just want to get the allocator. I don't want to have to create the thing and then get the allocator. So this is kind of what I'm doing here with the data stuff. It's like, yeah. But it's a little bit quirky. I'm not sure if it actually will work in the long run, but yeah, that's how I did it now. And then how to actually use it. Yeah, here. So here for example, we have we call draw list with this iterator. Now what is this iterator here? We call map iterator on this slice iterator. And actually we have to now create a slice iterator separately and then pass it in, because otherwise it's like a constant pointer like you get if you pass it in like this. It's gonna complain. Here it's gonna complain there. So it's gonna complain that it expected a pointer to an iterator generic iterator, but it found a pointer a const. So we have to like define it separately and then pass it in. Okay, and then we have the mapper function as part of the map iterator, which I'm sort of defining on the fly here. Which just takes the original type and we spit out a string, and that's it. So basically, instead of what we're doing sort of up here, where we're taking one struct which is not just a string, because the result that we want is an array of strings, so we want to iterate through an array of strings. So either if we just want an array of strings, we have to make an array of strings, allocate it, we have to populate it. With iterators you don't have to populate, or you don't have to allocate a new array. However, with this pattern it becomes a little bit like unwieldy, I guess. But then you can pass it in here as a generic. You get type safety here because you pass it in as this. You can clearly see what you need to pass in. What you can do